It can be really hard sometimes to post daily on a tech channel like this without occasionally spreading misinformation or bringing you guys a news story that seems like it's true, but then turns out to not be true. It appears that just a few days ago, when was this actually? About a week ago, I may have done exactly that. I posted a story, a video that said, that was titled, "The Ultra Slim Phone Trend is Already Dead." And that was the reporting going around, but things have complicated since then. So the initial report was based on word that the S26 Edge, despite the fact that we had not that long ago seen alleged renders of what it would look like, had been canceled. And this was echoed by Ice Universe and by OnLeaks, a couple of the most reputable tech leakers, tech tipsters on the planet. And this was apparently due to the fact that the 25 Edge did not sell well at all. A month after its launch, Samsung sold only 190,000 S25 Edge units. In comparison, the base model S25 sold 1.17 million, the Ultra phone sold 2.55 million, and even the mid-range Plus model that is generally seen as a phone people don't buy sold 840,000. This thing was just not purchased. Nobody seemed to want this phone. And then Apple's iPhone Air seemed to, as I wrote here, fare no better. Reporting was Apple was drastically cutting production orders to nearly end of production levels due to weak demand. Well, now we're getting a fresh report from Galaxy Club NL, and it's very interesting, and it kind of explains why that first report was kind of right, but maybe also wrong. So we see here in this initial paragraph, kind of recapping what I just said, Samsung decided to delete the Edge variant. This is being translated from Dutch. Some of this wording might be weird. Instead, there will be the familiar Plus version. Yet we have the impression that the S26 Edge has not been completely removed from the plans. In recent months, Samsung has started developing a new phone with the codename More Slim. For comparison, the S25 Edge was internally referred to by the codename, and this, for some reason, they translated slim to smart. Not sure why, but if you take it back to Dutch, that was the codename. So the 25 Edge codename was Slim. There's a device still apparently being developed, codenamed More Slim. What they are reporting is that More Slim is probably not the originally now canceled S26 Edge. And they go on to say that this S26 Edge must become even slimmer to secure its place, and that the development of More Slim is very far behind the development of the S26 line of phones. So it's probably not going to launch with those phones, but sometime after that. Again, kind of echoing this idea that they had a phone being developed, they canceled it. That's why Ice Universe and who was it, OnLeaks? Yes, it was OnLeaks. Both of them said, yep, it's canceled. They could be right, and it's just that, yeah, they canceled that, but they're going to try again with a different model. And then for the iPhone side of things, this is from Apple Insider. Apple Air production cut orders may not be true. We all saw the reports. They got passed around everywhere. I passed them around because they seem legit. That iPhone Air orders had dropped to end of cycle levels. Apple Insider saying that might not be the case. So TD Cowen is an American multinational investment bank, and apparently they have stepped in to denounce the claims. Apple isn't changing how many iPhone Air units it will produce in 2025 at all, the note to investors seen by Apple insiders claim. TD Cowen's report says there are no changes to iPhone forecasts for October, taking a moment to emphasize that this includes iPhone Air forecasts. So basically, they're an investment firm, and they're telling their investors, hey, Apple's fine. These reports aren't true, because people might see those reports and think, oh, things are declining. I'm going to sell. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. They're telling people it's not real. I'll put a link in the description to this full article, because I think, like a lot of things in this kind of segment of the tech world, it's a complicated story, so you can kind of read it for yourself. But at the end of the day, there is at least dispute to that claim. That claim was made by several different sources that production had been lowered dramatically. We have at least one source saying, no, that's not the case. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. I do feel fairly strongly that the Edge and the Air, neither one of them sold particularly well. And that's the part that I think all of us probably could have predicted. But back to the beginning of this video, This was information that I thought seemed legit. I passed it along to you guys, and there is now some stuff up in the air. The Samsung stuff, I think, is understandable because I do think what I said was basically accurate. There's just a missing piece to the story. The Apple stuff, who knows? Might not have been accurate at all. I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows. But at the end of the day, guys, if I bring you guys a video saying that A, B, and C are true, and a week later it turns out that A, B, and C are somewhere between kind of true, but not maybe the full story, or even completely false, you know I'm going to be here. I'm going to bring you guys a follow-up video and update everybody on that. I still do think that these slim phones in their current state don't make any sense. You can't ask people to sacrifice that which they want in exchange for that which they probably don't care that much about. It doesn't really make sense. Now, if there was a slim model that had good battery life and it didn't sacrifice on the cameras and all those things, like you're basically defying physics, if you can do that, make a really good slim phone, maybe that's a thing. I don't know. Maybe that's kind of what Samsung learned is, hey, we can't do that again. We have to do something better. Who knows? But that's where we are now. So guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Subscribe for more content like this. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.